Hello everyone, hello. This year is dedicated to Ili Nishmas Racholea Bas Reb Chaim Tzvi. We're in the middle of Sfiras HaOmer, and I want to discuss today some ideas of Sfiras HaOmer, and especially the angle of Rabbi Kiba's Talmidim, that they died during this time of the year, and ideas regarding Sfiras HaOmer. There is a very, very old minhag to learn Pirkei Avos during Sfiras HaOmer. This minhag is at least 1,000 years old, at least more than 1,000 years old. It's mentioned already in the Siddur of Rav Amram Gaon, and it must have begun before that, and that's around the year 900. It's a very, very old custom. We learn Pirkei Avos during the time of Sfiras HaOmer. Every week you learn a perek in many shuls, between Mincha and Mariv. The rabbi teaches Pirkei Avos. This is the minhag. Why do we have this minhag? So the standard reason given in the Sfarim is Derech Eretz Kadma torah. Pirkei Avos talks about proper midos development and being a proper person, the way you interact with others. Derech Eretz Kadma torah. That's what Pirkei Avos is about. We are now during Sfiras HaOmer in the middle of preparing ourselves for Matan Torah, and that's Derech Eretz Kadma torah. The Sefer Chinuch points out that Sfiras HaOmer shows the link from Pesach to Shavuos. We left Mitzrayim on Pesach. That was the beginning of a process leading up to Matan Torah on Shavuos. During Sfiras HaOmer, we're counting in our preparation of getting ready for Matan Torah. That's what Sfiras HaOmer is all about. That's what the Chinuch explains in Mitzvah Shin Vav. The Chinuch says that since the mitzvah of Sfiras HaOmer is to help to focus on anticipating Matan Torah, he asked the question, then why don't we count downwards from 49 down to 1 as opposed to 1 up to 49? When you're excited, when you're looking forward to something, so you count downwards, until you get to the end. A few more days of school, you count down how many days of school you have left. And so the Chinuch discusses that question. This is what Sfiras HaOmer is about, and therefore Derech Eretz Kadma torah. We're getting ready for Matan Torah now. We have to work on our midos and work on our Derech Eretz. It's very interesting. Midos are very important. It's a fascinating question that in the Torah we don't find specific mitzvos about most of the midos. Once in a while you have an example. How come the Torah doesn't have a mitzvah? That the Torah tells you when you're supposed to not eat chametz, when you're supposed to eat matzah. Why didn't the Torah say, don't have an evil heart? There's a mitzvah to have a leiv tov. Things like that. We find that in Pirkei Avos. We find it in Mishlei. Why don't we find it in the Torah? This question was asked by Reb Chaim Vital Zatzal, a Talmud of the Arizal, in the Sefer Sharei Kedusha in Chelek Aleph, and he gives an answer as follows: the reason why you don't find a command about the specific mitzvos is because they are their prerequisites. Derech Eretz Kadma torah. Those are their prerequisites for absorbing and learning Torah. You have to have those to start the process. So it's not that they're less important. They're even more important. It's before you start. Before you start learning, you have to have the midos tovos. So it doesn't make sense to give a mitzvah about them. They have to be there in the beginning. Rabbi Nebenzahl Shlita gives the following mashal. You walk into a yeshiva. A person who never saw yeshiva in his life walks into a yeshiva, and he sees the boys and he says, "How come? Hey, you don't have any classes here about how to read Hebrew, or you walk into an advanced yeshiva, or how to write Hebrew. Where are the classes to read and write Hebrew?" Well, the answer is, if you're in an advanced yeshiva, that's a given. It's a prerequisite to succeed in an advanced yeshiva that you can read Hebrew, you can write Hebrew. So you don't have classes about it because that's a given before you start. So the Reb Chaim Vital says that's the pshat, Derech Eretz Kadma torah, literally. Derech Eretz Kadma, before you start you have to have midos tovos. And that's why you don't find specific commands about midos tovos in the Torah itself, because the Torah by omission is teaching us, you need those before you start. Derech Eretz Kadma torah. So what I want to do today is present ideas about this topic, Derech Eretz Kadma torah, and how it connects to Sfiras HaOmer, from Rab Nebenzahl Shlita. Rab Nebenzahl is the Rav of the Old City. He's the Talmud Muvak of Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. And he has some beautiful ideas in his Sfarim about Derech Eretz Kadma Torah. Just you should know things about Rav Nebenzahl, just about his own his midos. Rav Nebenzahl smiles a lot. And he especially smiles when he's teaching Torah. And it's a fabulous thing to see. Part of he's getting across the message. It's wonderful to teach Torah. He wants people to be happy. And he smiles when he's teaching Torah. One of his grandsons comes to learn with him once a week in the yeshiva. They sit there, I think, at 45 minutes together. And Rav Nebenzahl literally smiles the whole time when he's talking to his grandson, when he's explaining things to him. It's a beautiful thing to see. Rav Nebenzahl also likes to add in jokes as he's talking, and just to make things more besimcha.